Hey guys, we are at the Hero office in Vienna, and next to me is Alexander Kekefu, the analyst, former head coach of BIG. And you had the opportunity to ask him questions on Reddit and Twitter. And let's see what we have here. Okay, so Alex, Lunas wants to know best kebab in Berlin.
Um, we had some kebabs, and kebab in Berlin is overall like better as in Austria, I have to admit. And there's like some kind of Spezi döner there, where
Spezi?
yeah,
Okay.
where they have like fried vegetables in the kebab itself, but it wasn't
It's-
that good. But
Okay.
everybody was really a fan of that. I think one of the best kebabs was like near our place where we lived. It's like a really small place, and yeah, just loved it there.
Where do you exactly live in Berlin?
Yeah, I cannot say that.
Oh,
That would be not as
come
good
on,
in
man.
doing that in the internet.
Okay. So Sylvain wants to know who's the next German upcoming talent that's not already in your team.
Um, there are actually a lot of players who are really good right now. Uh, I think Surson is doing really good as AWP, and from the younger guys, I think right now Faven is actually really good. Mirbit is good, but he's from Switzerland, and yeah, I think they're. Uh,
And what about some Austrians maybe?
I mean, from Austrians, there's only like Chris K that's actually doing good because he's the only guy that plays right now on the EPS finals that he qualified.
Yeah, they're really
And
good.
yeah, I think Schipter is also like one of the players who are up and coming in Austria because he's also playing in the EPS. I think these two guys are like our hope right now.
Okay. Tim wants to know how do you untilt the team after losing an easy round?
Um, basically, we just say forget the round, keep your heads up, analyze what was going wrong. So yeah, overall we just try to not be tilt if we lose a round.
Is it hard?
Yeah,
to not
it's-
be tilt.
It's really hard because
Do you-
you get tilted.
Do you really have to try hard? Like, okay, let's just calm down.
Yeah, I mean you have to try hard, but most of the times it's like really fake.
But on a
to-
on a professional level, it should
Yeah.
be like normal that you're calm, that you know that mistakes happen and that you don't get like aggressive or super tilt. Oh,
Yeah, I mean
rage mode.
yeah, I mean you should be as a professional, but it still happens in CS, and I think everybody that plays knows that.
Who's the player in your team who tilts the most?
Um,
Go probably.
no, I think
No?
it's. I mean, it isn't that much. I think the most tilts it's Thompson. He tilts the most because his. I mean, he gives himself a lot of pressure, and that's why he tilts the most. But yeah, I think he is.
Okay, taps. So let's start. Says ask. Germany was a powerhouse in 1.6 era, but why did it fail to replicate that success? That success in CS:GO.
Um, I mean, this is only my personal opinion, but I think every nation that has like in-game leaders or like team captains who can lead a team and teach the team have strong CS teams. And since a lot of players from 1.6 who could lead a team like fell back, they didn't basically recover. So the new players tried to play with new guys, but they didn't reach a certain level. And I think when God B, for example, came back suddenly, he wasn't known as like a good player or like a big aimer, but he was the team captain that Germany basically needed to succeed. So yeah, I think that's a big part. And of course, the mentality of the community itself isn't that well. I think now it's getting better, and since
You mean
esports
that
get professional,
it's more like fun gaming or just game instead of trying to be more
Yeah,
successful or to
yeah.
improve constantly.
100%,
Yeah.
and also just watching everything way more professional, also like in the team. Yeah.
Okay, that's a very similar question. Gokul, how do you think the German scene is different compared to the later years of the 1.6 era, about 2009, 2013? And what I find really interesting is what you also talked about, that like back in the days, I think the mentality or how the players, the best players saw the game, that they constantly tried to improve, and there was no fun gaming. Every gather you played or every match you played, it was totally serious, and you always tried to outplay your opponents. No random stuff doing like YOLOing or just fun. And I think that the younger players are not that dedicated or want to have a little more fun.
Yeah, I think so, but also I think they give up too early. So like I think everybody who played 1.6 on a like semi-professional level knew that we played a lot of years CS till we reached like some kind of level. I think now that the young kids see like all the pros and like being good, they think they can like be good in 6 months, and if they're not good in 6 months, they just like stop.
Yeah.
But it's more of a process. You have to like play for 1, 2, 3 years and then improve and then like lose also to get better
And
I
learn from your mistakes. Obviously.
Correct, yeah, and I think people just like quit very fast, and that's all like one of the stuff that happens in German scene.
Okay. Mango Rest wants to know how's the atmosphere in the team after Lucker and Tizia joined, and what are their goals for 2K18?
Of course, if you get new players, there's like most of the times a new like honeymoon a season, I would say. So the mood was actually really good. We were really eager to improve. We wanted to teach new players our game and implement that. So if they two joined, we were like very hyped and we thought our skill was getting higher with Tizian and Lucker. With Lucker, it was a little bit shaky, I would say, because he had to like he was inactive for a really long time. He didn't play in a team, so we had to teach them. But the motivation was really high, and we saw that we had really good results at WESG.
Yeah.
We won a map against Fnatic. We beat SK on Train, for example. So yeah, I think the motivation is really high, and their goal for 2018. Goals are of course trying to get into Pro League again. So right now we're playing in the Mountain Dew League. Our standings are really good there. And yeah, the major is the most important tournament, and we try to get Legend again.
How are your chances?
I think really good.
Yeah, I hope so.
I mean, it's all about. I mean, if you, for example, if you get into Pro League now again, it's like the motivation will rise insanely high, and we will prove ourselves that we can beat everybody. And even though we had a really bad showing at this major, I think everybody can see that we can beat tier 1 teams. So in the last Pro League season where we went down, we also had like really close results.
Yeah. Bossman, what's the best way to get into an organization like Big? Are there job opportunities for someone with no experience in the gaming scene except from a fan perspective?
It depends. Does he want to go into the team or into the social media stuff and everything?
I think he doesn't want to be a player, but be a part of the organization. Right?
I mean, if he wants to be part of the organization as like a graphic designer or like
Do you have volunteers who are contributing to Big to the organization?
In the beginning, we had. So basically, because we were a new organization and we didn't have that a lot of money, we had volunteers like close friends and people that were like all there. They did it, but right now they get paid a little bit, thank God. So because we found sponsors. But if you want to get there, just try to contact Lance on Twitter. It's at CS:GO Manager, and yeah, he will do everything else.
Okay, Kiku, how are you feeling? Very important.
Yeah, I'm feeling really good right now.
Now the sun is shining.
Yeah,
it's not that cold anymore. So, Dovalex, what do you think about the Austrian scene specifically? Are there any team players you think have potential to perform on international level?
Yeah, I think so. As I mentioned before, like your other question implement that, I think Chris K showed himself that he can be one of the star players in Austria.
He's 1 out of 5.
Yeah, he's 1 of 5. I mean, overall, the rest, there are really young players at like 16 or something that are playing right now in Austrian teams. And they try to prove themselves in Austrian teams right now. So
any names or shoutouts you want?
I mean, right now I think one in Team Private's teams is the Rocky guy. I think he's 16. So yeah, that's really young, and I think he's trying his best, and I hope that he comes forward. But despite of that, is as I said, like not many Austrians are in the international scene right now, and they still have to prove themselves. But yeah, my guess is on Chris K.
Okay. Stilox, how did you get from Penta into Big?
Basically, in Penta, Tapson brought me into Penta, and when he left his American team, he came forward to me and said, okay, they tried to search for a coach, and if I would be interested to help them again, since we knew each other from Penta. And yeah, at the time, Penta tried to make a new roster, and yeah, I decided to go with Big.
During your time in Penta, you worked with some very high tier players who were pretty unknown back in the days, like Rowell, Lowell, Sunny,
Sunny.
Tapson, obviously, and many people claim that Penta is like the academy team for mouse sports because like, can you comment on that or any? First of all, how was it to work with people like Sunny and Lowell?
Yeah, I mean, Lowell was an uprising talent in my opinion, but he still had to learn a lot. So I think his the fame after he got picked from mouse sports got a little bit above his head.
Okay.
So he was really young and he was still learning. So I think that he had to be still like 1 year in a tier 2 team before he joined into mouse. That would be better for his development. But yeah, he was really talented, but he couldn't compensate on tier 1. So he wasn't. I think he wasn't ready. And Sunny, yeah, Sunny was insane from the beginning on. He's a very intelligent guy out of the game, very smart, and he makes a lot of. I mean, he thinks about the game, and that's really important that you just like think about your game and what you can improve. So yeah, he was also really easy to work with. He always also took all the advices really good, and he brought it into his game. That was really important. Yeah, and Tapson is, as I said, I think for me like one of the best players in the world.
Okay. Real question. It's a little bit of a hate question. I hope you don't, or at least in my opinion, you don't mind. Big lost a lot of games they shouldn't lose. What strategy does Big go for to stay professional?
I mean, I think we're all the time professionals. If people would see how much time we put in and how hard we work, I think a lot of opinions would change, and we're really trying hard. So we're playing the whole day. We had weeks where we practiced 8 hours a day. We talked about CS. We watched demos. So we had like around 10 to 12-hour days, and we're really trying to keep up the to keep up the good mood. No, to keep up our skills. So we really put in a lot of time and a lot of analyzing time and a lot of game time to keep being on the top.
Okay. I had a really nice question that I can find, but it was basically like if you could talk about the atmosphere in the team.
You asked that about the Tizian and
that explains a lot. I can find it. Well, one last question, landing shortly. Austria represent. I remember a time when we had a quite nice little scene that was actually good in Austria. Not just when Infernum was good, but also when Plan B managed to go far in the German EPS besides other quite okay teams. What happened? Why was Austria, like Germany, just completely eradicated of professional CS? Is there something we could do better to catch up? So it's a very general question, but basically, why do we suck in CS?
Why do Austria suck in CS? I think it's again the learning process overall. So a lot of the Austrian mentality is what I encounter. Like I can say a story. A player came forward to me and said, "Can you get me a team?" And I was like, what kind of question is this? You know, try to prove yourself. There's like a lot of platforms out there. You can play a lot of stuff where you can show yourself, and if you're good, you get into a team, or just try to make your own teams and try to improve. So people try to get in a better team, but they're not as good right now, so they have to improve. So the mentality is a huge thing, and overall, I think there's the other thing that I'd like to address is, if you don't have the team to cheer for, you're like the new players don't try to improve. So if there would be like an Austrian team playing in a major, for example, I think there would a lot of like way more like players in Austria that would be good, because they were being way more interested in the game. They try to learn from like a good team. So we have like a little overall problem there. And again, there is no organization in Austria who pays money. So you cannot go full-time pro without getting paid. So the moment you don't go full-time pro, you can just like play besides your university, besides your work, and then you only can put in like 3 hours maybe a day into CS, and that's not enough because other players put in like 10 hours per day in CS.
But we see a big progress in that direction. I mean, obviously first it starts in Germany. German teams, German organizations are able to pay salary or pay bigger salaries. So I think that in the near future there will be Austrian companies who are willing to invest into CSGO team. Yeah,
I mean, I hope so. I mean, I think that the moment Austria got a team or like a clan like Mousesports or Alternate Attacks, I think that the scene can improve, and we will see Austrian players who perform well. So yeah, I think we just need like a team who can pay salary.
Okay, thank you, Alex. I did not ask all of your questions because some of the questions you asked, guys, were we already talked about in the interview, which you can find on our YouTube channel, for example. So thank you for all your comments. If you liked the video, please give us a like, follow our channel. Alex, the last words are yours.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for having me. I hope that Hero will have a splash in the esports scene. They're like really cool guys. Yeah, and
Thank you.
everything.
That was probably the most professional interview ever participated in. See you guys.
See ya.